Hey everybody, welcome to Michigan Out of Doors, and thank you so much for joining us this week. We are excited to be into the new year, bringing you a whole nother year of brand new episodes here at Michigan Out of Doors. And we are going to kick off this week's show kind of in the early to mid part of December, where we're doing some layout goose hunting, and tell you what, we had a lot of fun that day.
And then we're going to switch gears, Jimmy, and we're going to ride along with a conservation officer for the evening. That was kind of interesting to see what all happens there. And then we'll switch gears again and stop in at a sporting dog trial to see what all goes into one of those competitions. Lots of fun, lots of variety on this week's show, so make sure you stay tuned. I'm Jenny Olson.
And I'm Jimmy Gretzinger. It's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes, here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan Out of Doors. Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream, it's the love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Greenstone Farm Credit Services, making recreational land ownership possible across Michigan and northeast Wisconsin. Begin your land financing journey at one of Greenstone's 37 locations or visit greenstonefcs.com. By Meijer, a destination for hunting, fishing, and camping. From bug spray and tents to GPS and gas, Meijer has nearly everything you need to take on nature and get you there. Meijer. By Showspan, producing consumer shows including the Ultimate Fishing Show, Detroit, January 8th through 11th at Novi's Suburban Collection Showplace. The show features fishing tackle, fishing trips, fishing boats, and seminars on all Michigan game fish. The Ultimate Fishing Show, Novi, January 8th through 11th. By Country Smokehouse, offering a variety of meat products. Country Smokehouse is located 3 miles south of I-69 on M53, just south of Imlay City. Country Smokehouse is a meat processor, a butcher, and a destination for sportsmen.
Well, here we are, first week of December, and we're out with some good friends of ours, Mike and James Kennedy. We just had our first group of birds come in. They've been seeing a lot of geese and a lot of ducks working this part of Ionia County, and just tried to pick the best field we could today. And we've had a couple flocks of mallards that we saw, and then we had one group of geese that just came in. We kind of reset the decoys a little bit. It's overcast, a little windy. It's 30-some degrees, which is warmer than what it's been the last few days, so we're hoping the birds will fly, but we'll see.
Well, we had birds working us and finally did have a group commit. James has been a waterfowl addict for quite a while and simply loves this kind of hunting.
The camaraderie of it is just amazing. I mean, you can't beat it. I mean, I've got a good set of guys, good set of friends that always take out. You can talk, you can walk around, you can laugh, and 1 minute you're chasing geese, 1 minute you got geese coming in, you're calling them in, and then the next minute you're up back talking, shooting the crap, just having fun. And then right back to it again, right back in the blinds, just hush, quiet. And then you can call too. I love calling. That's all. That's more of the most important thing for me is actually watching birds work into the field, work into the decoys, and calling. That's almost more fun for me now. And I love shooting geese. Don't get me wrong, but I have a lot of fun bringing people out and seeing them shoot geese too.
We were scratching out a few birds, and it was fun to be running the gun today and not just a camera. We had a period of time where we had a lot of birds working us, but very few were committing to come into the decoys.
What when I started out was last night. I started out by where they were roosting at, and I sat there waiting for them to leave the water. They left, and I followed them to the field, and I see where the field they were going to. I watched them land in the field, watched what they were doing in the field. As they landed, I wanted to watch and see how they reacted, how they were landing, other birds landing with them. Once I got that all figured out, I'd focused on then where they were at in the field, because you want to be, when you set up for waterfowl, you want to be on the X. You want to be right where the birds want to be. Once we found them, once we got that figured out, as far as then coming out here this morning and getting everything set up, we set our decoys with a lot of birds. There were a lot of birds concentrated in a small group. They were all feeding real heavy. A lot of food in the field. It's really cold out, so they're trying to get on as much fat as they can before the winter hits. We would put feeders mostly behind us, behind the blinds, as you can see behind us, and then we'd put a couple smaller groups of decoys that represented birds that had landed and were working their way into the feeding group. And we just kind of left a nice opening out in front of the blinds. That way, when they worked right in, they'd land right in with the decoys.
Well, to be honest with you, we had one of our toughest waterfowl seasons this past year. Lots of failed trips and very few birds were taken, which happens quite a bit as a hunter, but it can be hard to make a TV show out of that. So for all of you waterfowl hunters who wish we would have had more duck and goose hunts on this year, well, me too. It wasn't for lack of trying, and even though we didn't set the world on fire, we had a great time with some really good folks here in Michigan's Out of Doors.
Well, for anyone who wonders what it would be like to be a DNR conservation officer or what goes into a day's work for them, you're going to get a glimpse of that in this next story, where I got to ride along just for an evening, and there was a lot of stuff going on out there. Back in early November, I had a chance to ride along with some DNR conservation officers out of St. Clair County for an interesting look at how they try to curb illegal hunter activity. Sergeants Todd Siska and Dan Bigger, along with conservation officers Ken Kovach and Jeremy Beavers, were getting together a game plan for the night. Sergeant Siska explained the plan. So kind of tell me how that works in a nutshell. What are you guys going to be doing?
Well, under the support of aircraft, they help us to try and detect people that might be shining during the month of November, because during November it's illegal to shine for deer. So that's pretty much what we're targeting, and we're going to split up into different areas. And you've got some officers here representing different counties, and we also have other officers in the other district that are going to come in together with us tonight and work off of our talk group. That's what our mission is tonight, so we're just having a pre-planning.
All right, is it just shining, or what is, it's kind of more than, they're not just out shining typically?
We're looking for illegal activity related to hunting, after hours hunting, anything that would, be out of the ordinary for this time of the year or season. We're going to work in different patrol units, and we're going to concentrate in different areas. Some of these areas are targeted areas we've actually had report out poaching complaints in, that we know there's activity. So we will try and get to those spots with our vehicles, and maybe the aircraft support can find some of this beforehand, because obviously they get there a lot faster than we do in a vehicle. So we're going to target those areas. So we're going to do some sweeps in multiple counties tonight, basically. Whatever the aircraft can support for us tonight on the fuel they're allowed, we're going to try and cover as much ground as we can to try and see if there's anything out there. The DNR gave us this footage from the helicopter to illustrate what can be seen using thermal imaging technology. It's pretty cool stuff. Back on the ground, I was riding along with Officer Ken Kovach, and we had a little time to chat before the action started. It seems like sportsmen are, either hot or cold about the DNR. Do you run into a little bit of both when you're out there in the field?
For the most part, most of our contacts are positive. They support us. Obviously the ones that are doing illegal activity, they're not happy about getting caught. But for the most part, most of our contacts are in a positive manner. While we waited for night to fall and the helicopter to arrive overhead, Officer Kovach got to work checking on some hunters in the area. All right, we're prime time. The guys are just getting done hunting, so it looks like we got a guy coming out of the woods right now. We'll stop and make a routine check to make sure they're squared away with licenses and see if they had a successful night.
How you doing? Good.
Good. Any left tonight?
Seen a few out there.
Okay.
A 6-pointer and probably an 8-pointer, but they're too far. But a lot of does.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That rut's going on big time right now.
Yeah, they are. They're running around.
You got your bow put away?
Yep, just put it away.
You got your licenses
I
on?
sure do.
Quick peek at those.
Yep.
Any luck yet this year?
No, not at all.
Okay. You've been getting out quite a bit lately, have you?
Oh yeah, they're all right there. So got
You been seeing any road hang activity at all?
no,
Nobody shining or anything lately?
no, I haven't seen one.
Okay.
I've been hunting on here for about 5 years off of Kevin's property.
Yep. Good.
Yep.
Although the first hunter we talked to hadn't seen any illegal activity around, the DNR does receive quite a few calls from this area to their Report All Poaching hotline. The next hunters we talked to are fed up with all the violating that goes on out here.
I love the DNR. I mean, we have a lot of violators in the area. They like to shine and shoot deer in the middle of the night. We're always finding dead deer in the fields. It's a shame, really, that they're wasting a resource like that.
It's no secret that conservation officers are spread pretty thin these days, so it's a huge help for the DNR to be able to benefit from this incredible technology that allows them to cover a considerable amount of ground in the dark. This footage is from a case that was recently closed and the violators prosecuted. Sergeant Siska explains the details of the case.
Earlier in the season, we had a case. One of our officers worked under the supported aircraft that we worked, and that entailed a whole group that was actually in the process of illegal hunting activity. And when I say illegal hunting activity, they were shining after hours, and they were actually shooting onto private pieces of property and then, taking deer without licenses. And this continued for several miles, and they actually shot quite a few deer. So we were able to apprehend them with the support of the aircraft, and the sheriff department within the county that the officer worked with actually helped us with it too. So it was a joint collaboration, which worked out good for not only for us but the resource as well.
How helpful is it to have air support for you guys to do your job? I know all the conservation officers are spread kind of thin.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that traditionally we try and rely on if the budget money is there, because we do have to pay out of different budget funds to try and get aircraft support. It's not like we can just get volunteers all the time to help us out. So if we can do it, it's a tool that's very useful for us. And it helps us try and, track people, because they can obviously see miles or a different angle that we don't see on the ground.
These guys were racking up a laundry list of violations and had no clue they were even being watched. They were drinking alcohol, illegally shining, discharging loaded weapons from a motor vehicle, trespassing, and shooting deer without a license. The local sheriff's department was closer than the nearest CO, so they performed the arrest here. Officer Kovac says we can all do our part in stopping the violation of our natural resources. The RAP hotline is on the back of every hunting and fishing license.
Well, and for the most part, everybody's abiding by the law. And what we encourage people to do is, like I said, call us when they see the illegal activity. And it might be a friend or a co-hunter. But ultimately, if they're poaching or doing illegal activity, they're cheating from all of us. And that's the way that I can illustrate to people that they need to call. It might be a friend or a co-worker or a neighbor, but ultimately they're stealing from all of us that are outdoors people. We're all out there enjoying the natural resources the same, so ultimately they're stealing from all of us.
If we all continue to work together and communicate with the DNR, hopefully we'll make a difference and help to stop poaching, trespassing, and the violation of our natural resources in this great state. Special thanks to CO Kovac and all the conservation officers who do their part to ensure Michigan's natural resources and its outdoor heritage are alive and well. Well, one of the fun parts about owning a sporting dog is getting to spend time training it in the field too. And spending time watching your dog work is always fun. And another good excuse to spend some time in the outdoors. That's exactly what's happening in this next story with a group of sporting dog trainers. Last month in Lapeer, a group of folks met up at Todd Craven's farm for an official competition in the Michigan region of the National Shoot to Retrieve Association, an organization designed to get bird dogs and their owners out in the field on a year-round basis to keep their skills fine-tuned and for a little friendly competition. Pat Carlson and the guys were raring to go on this chilly morning.
Going to have a beautiful day today. You're going to be able to see some beautiful dog work. We have 15 braces today. They're all a half hour apiece. And Janie's going to be riding with the judge today. You're going to have a great time.
All right, can't wait to see it.
Be awesome.
These dogs are pretty excited.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. When the dogs are ready to go, you would sit in a blind with your brace mate, with your dog. and the bird planter would go out and plant your birds, and they plant 5 birds, and it's the best of 5. So your dog is released for 30 minutes with the other dog, so you're competing one-on-one with each other. And then the judges, one judge will follow one dog, the other judge will follow the other dog, and then they begin to judge the dog as the obedience begins, if the dog goes on point, what it scores, if you shoot the bird, how the dog retrieves it. If it retrieves it to hand, it's a better score. If he drops it out farther from you, that's not too good of a score.
I was riding along with Judge Rob Vermeesh on this fast-paced event. What just happened there?
The dog found a bird.
Yeah.
And we looked for the quality of the fine. He gets up there and just slams the bird. He's not working into it.
Okay.
Then retrieve. We're looking for a good retrieve coming up back to you. And you just score accordingly.
Keeping track of all the action out here seems like a challenge. Pat explained a little bit about the strategy of this competition.
You'll get to see how the dogs point, retrieve, dogs that are backing each other, a lot of exciting things like that. So as you get points on your retrieve, then as you're going through the field, you want to try to have your dog back another dog. So if you can watch that other dog compete and he goes on point, you can take your dog over that vicinity so you can make your dog back that dog. Now you can't coerce your dog to point that dog, so the dog should back naturally, because that's what you're looking for. And it depends on how the distance is, how well he backs, how high your score is.
As a judge, Rob was doing a great job of getting to the action as it unfolded. From being a judge to a dog trainer to a volunteer, there's a lot of work involved in a national shoot-to-retrieve event, and Pat says everyone just loves it.
Well, it's a year-round sport because all of us love bird dogs and love bird hunting, and this is a way that we can bird hunt year-round. So that's one of the reasons why we do it. Almost all of us are grouse hunters, so you'll see our national event doesn't fall in the middle of grouse season. We don't have any events in grouse season, so all of us rotate around grouse season. But what's nice about our organization is if you wanted to come out and just take a look and see if you like it, you can ride with the judge, and the judge will take you out there and show you, so you get to watch another dog and talk to you about it. And you can just come hang out with us and have lunch with us and just see if you really like it. And then in the amateur, if you just want to put your dog in to see how your dog does, it's scored exactly the same way, but a little more looser. So then this judge can sit there and tell you your dog needs to do this, your dog needs to do that, and kind of help you along, because that's kind of what we do.
Rob and I were following landowner Todd Craven on this first brace of the event. Todd runs a bird dog training facility here at his farm and was competing with a young dog he's training, this short hair named Louie, who's still a little wet behind the ears. Todd, how do you think it went out there?
Well, this is only his 5th time down. He's got some rough spots, but we're working on him.
Cool.
I think he's heading in the right direction.
All right. What's the biggest challenge about doing something like this? I mean, you're walking pretty fast, keeping up with the dog. Is that it? Or
keeping your eye on what's going on in the whole entire field, where birds are being taken, so on and so forth. There's a lot more involved than what you just see, obviously, but it's a lot of fun.
Cool. All right.
B field, second brace, in the blind.
As the next leg of competitors got in place, I caught up with Scott Townsend, the association's first VP on a national level. Scott gave me a quick rundown of what they're all about.
We're nationwide. We've got 30 regions throughout the country and one in Canada. We hold like around 1,100 weekend trials a year throughout the country. And then we hold 5 national events also. And the idea is you accumulate weekend points to qualify for a national event. And in the national event, they'll take the top, depending on the criteria for that national, they will take the top 128, or it might be 250 dogs in the country, and they'll run them off.
What makes a good dog? I heard you've got some champions.
A good dog is of course a good nose. You're looking for a big running dog, I guess I would say, generally, depending on the conditions, a bigger running dog. But you also, bottom line, the dog has to handle, and he has to have clean work. You're looking for a dog to immediately point when he smells a bird or immediately back when he sees another dog on point. You're looking for a good, clean retrieve that's straight out, pick the bird up and straight back for the delivery with no putzing around, you know, to score good. I mean, not that you can't compete with a little bit less clean work, but you know, that's what gets you to the next level.
Scott was running his current national champion, Chip, today. And even with a misfire on the gun, Scott dropped a bird and Chip was able to make a quick retrieve and keep on hunting. Scott says there's a simple reason why they all love this stuff.
The competition, the fun of putting your dog up against another opponent where you run heads up against your brace mate, both as a handler and as a dog.
What a great group of folks and dogs. Today's event ran from sun up to sundown, but I was only able to stay for a few short hours. In that time, I witnessed the reason the National Shoot to Retrieve Association is such a special group. Its members have a passion for their dogs have a passion for hunting, and all of them love every minute of their time here in Michigan's Out of Doors. Thanks for joining us this week for Michigan Out of Doors. Make sure you catch us online when you get a chance. You can do that a couple of different ways on our website at MichiganOutofDoorsTV.com or on our Facebook page at Michigan Out of Doors TV.
That's right. Lots of good stuff coming over the next few weeks here in Michigan Out of Doors. We're going to kind of wrap up the deer season. We should have a few late season deer hunts that kind of happened over the holidays. We also have some taxidermy coming up, some recipes, lots of stuff. I tell you what, if it has anything to do with the outdoors, you're going to see it right here in Michigan Out of Doors. Thank you so much for joining us this week. And hopefully, if we don't see you in the woods or on the water, we'll see you right back here next week on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Jay's Sporting Goods with locations in Clare and Gaylord. Jay's, serving the Michigan outdoor enthusiast since 1971 with a wide variety of outdoor products. The gear, the knowledge, the tradition of Jay's, on the web at jayssportinggoods.com. By Chappelle, providing sleds, shelters, and accessories for your time on the ice. Chappelle offers a line of pop-ups, flipovers, and the Bay Runner, a mobile cabin with a shelf for electronics and a sliding seat. On the web at chappelle.com. By Propane, exceptional energy. Propane retailers promote the safe use of Michigan-produced gas energy in homes, farms, and businesses across our great state. Learn more at usemichiganpropane.com. By Meyer, a destination for hunting, fishing, and camping. From bug spray and tents to GPS and gas, Meyer has nearly everything you need to take on nature and get you there. Meyer. Closed captioning is brought to you by Propane, exceptional energy. Propane retailers promote the safe use of Michigan-produced gas to outdoor enthusiasts across our great state.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my home state. I am a Michigan man. Changing seasons paint the scene like rainbows